Alright, so I'm going to be setting up a custom adventure that I created called Undead May Cry, because I'm unoriginal like that. These are all my printed manual pages and whatnot. What cards you'll need, the custom villain, all the adventure setups, and some if-else statements, which we'll get to, and the results at the end of the campaign, and all that stuff. We'll get to that. What you'll need is at least Castle Ravenloft, Wrath of Ashardalon, and Legend of Drizzt. This is preferred, but optional. If you don't have Dungeon Command, I have contingencies, so you can still play this campaign without it. These are just the bags of all my stuff, all the all the extra crap. Yeah, and my newest edition, Temple of Elemental Evil. So got some new bags. All right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to go through each box and get all of these cards. As you can see, I have it listed. You know, this is the monster deck. There's 32 monsters, and then I broke them down into each box for ease of use. These are all the card numbers and the name of the card. So pretty simple. Oh yeah, there's my gaming rig set up, but it's a mess. Alright, so I'm going to go through these, and I'm going to get all the cards ready, all the pieces and tokens, and we'll come back when I have all of that and explain it. Yeah, so see you soon. And we're back. Alright, so I managed to get all the cards, and I've already shuffled them and placed them in their own decks. This is the adventure pile for Adventure 2. The villagers or family members, you gotta say, but we'll get to that. Once you've already collected all the cards, shuffled them, placed them how you want them, we'll get to this in a second. This is for the setup for Adventure 1. Here I have all the Castle Ravenloft heroes, all the Wrath of Ashardalon heroes, and my newest addition, the Temple of Elemental Evil heroes, the standard 2 starting healing surges. Over here we have our army. That would be the autofocus. There we go. There we have our army. The young vampire you're going to set up in Adventure 1. Right. My camera still sucks. Here's some of the Curse of Undeath additions. Or additions, not additions. The Lich, who's going to be, spoiler alert, your boss. Well, not like a workplace boss. That would be kind of awkward. Here's your tokens. This is going to be used for a tracker, which we'll explain for Adventure 1, I believe. I've already forgotten. Here's your family members, key, map. I've forgotten that this was specifically named for Gravestorm, you know, the Draco Lich. But hereafter, we're just going to refer to this as the Phylactery. The altar token, special rules for this adventure. You can ignore the armor class and hit points. This is just specifically for these things right here. Time tokens, and we'll get to that in a bit. There are special rules for that adventure. Here we have our treasure tokens. And actually, I'll explain these ones right now. The campaign rules for this, I'm going to turn autofocus off. Monsters are going to be dropping treasure tokens, not cards. And you're not going to start with a treasure card. You're not going to start with a treasure card like you do in most adventures. Now, treasure chests, this is also another special rule. A lot of these are special rules. I'm going to stop being redundant. And every time you get to a 3rd, 6th, 9th, or 12th tile, you're going to also place a treasure chest. And when you draw one, you'll pick out a card, 2 tokens, and roll a d20. Once you've already found a key, you do not need to roll anymore. There will be no treasure chests in Adventure 3 for specific reasons, because you won't need them. Let's see here. Right, in between adventures. You may only flip utility and daily powers in between adventures 1 and 2. 2 and 3, you can only flip utility powers. Well, I'm sure you can read this, but I'm just trying to read it out loud for you too. In between every adventure, you flip 1 healing surge token. The only time that you don't flip a healing surge token is if you have a level 2 cleric in the party, and you're going in between adventures 2 and 3. Yeah, here. I actually even put this in the rules too. You may forego flipping a used healing surge to cast Raise Dead on a fallen ally. This means they don't have... I mean, I didn't word this correctly. If you have any daily power still available, do not flip them over. But if you have any used daily powers, you do not regain those uses. But you still flip utility powers as normal. And they only start with the healing surge amount of full health, the healing surge amount instead of full health. But between adventures 1 and 2, you can go back to the city, pay 200 gold per fallen ally, and those are rules as normal. You flip all utility daily powers. You gain full health, etc., etc. Let's see. Rules on death and dying. Oh, yeah, okay. So one more custom rule I have is a retreat option. So as long as you have 1 fallen ally, and as long as 1 ally is still 1 hit point or more, and no healing surges remain on the board, you can retreat from the adventure. This basically means you just go back to town. You can pay 200 gold to resurrect each ally, or 200 gold per fallen ally. And you can try the adventure again. This means you keep all items you've already collected in the dungeon. You still have to reshuffle all experience, the monsters back into their piles. But, this gives you like a second chance. You can go back to town, heal up, try again. Let's see. Oh yeah, and in between adventures 1 and 2, we use the Wrath of Ashardalon campaign system. You draw 3 treasure cards. This is the merchant's inventory. You can spend your gold on that. Depending on certain actions in Adventure 2, you can also find an NPC, one of the family members, and they can sell you stuff in Adventure 3. But we'll get to that later. Some more important rules would be friendly fire. Now, I have noticed there are traps and events and spells that affect all monsters or all heroes. This special rule basically states those cards are going to affect everything in the room. So, like if you have a fireball that attacks all monsters on that tile, well, guess what? That fireball is also going to attack all heroes on that tile. So just be wary of that. But you can also use that to your advantage, such as traps. Whenever a monster moves on a trap and it'll activate for a hero, well, it'll also activate for a monster. So keep that in mind. As classic 3.5, 3.0 positive energy and negative energy rules, these apply. So when you do those AoE attacks, heal all heroes on your tile, be careful, because positive energy, well, actually, that's not a be careful, that's a good job, because that'll hurt the undead. But some undead have attacks that'll heal them as well. And this affects them as well, too. So when the Lich boss uses this burst, he also heals a hit point. let's see here. The next page was components. This is all the stuff that I just drew. Let's see, Curse of Undeath. Right, the alternative. Alright, so if you don't have Dungeon Command, these are my suggestions. Replace the Disciple of Cuse with the Cultist, the Lich with a Blazing Skeleton, and any other monster cards. Try to find any undead that you can. I think that's pretty much it. I don't think I have... Yeah, just monsters. So yeah, just replace them with undead. If you don't have Temple of Elemental Evil, which are just used for advantage and disadvantage sections, then just remember advantage, you can roll twice, take the better result. Disadvantage, you roll twice, take the worst result. If you want to use these. These are optional. Purely optional. And this was just... I was bored. Technically speaking, I think he should be a level 6 villain, but because his abilities are a little higher than normal, I put him at level 8. So yes, you can use him as a level 8 experience, although he's the final boss, so I mean, yeah. There's no really point in keeping him. Yet. I am planning a second campaign in the works, which will continue off of the results of this one. And I'm thinking of kind of adopting a little bit of the Temple of Elemental Evil system. Anyway, so we're going to move on. You cannot use single attacks like healing potions to attack the undead, so keep that in mind. Alright, so what I'm going to do next, which might have to be a second video. This one's kind of getting long. My bad, I'm like rambling. I'm going to go through these, and I'm going to pick a suitable team and get them together, pick their power cards, and then start the second video, which will include setup for Adventure 1 and at least the first full round of Adventure 1. Now you might be asking, why is this space blank? This was originally going to be for the the Legend of Drizzt, however you pronounce his name, doesn't matter anyway. He's not as cool. The Legend of Drizzt characters. Yeah, words are hard. But because this campaign is actually a custom setting from my novels that I've never finished, these characters do not exist. Well, none of these characters technically exist, but if you want to use them, that is your prerogative. Just, make sure you have up to 2 to 5 heroes would be preferable. 5 would probably be better. And then, you pick your power cards, yada yada, normal setup stuff. But for this specific run through, we're just going to use these guys, or 5 of these guys. And let's see here. Okay, so before we end the video, I guess I can give you a little background. This setting, yeah, words are hard, I told you this. This setting is set in the world of Voss, which is a custom world I made. It's supposed to be low fantasy, low magic, but, screw it, we're doing D&D. And so most of the stuff is going to be more supernatural based rather than magical. And this takes place in the Kingdom of Therion, named for one of the 7 great houses of Celestia. 7 angelic houses. And the city has actually gone downhill. The kingdom has gone downhill quite a lot, full of corrupt nobles and politics, all that good stuff. And this specific setting takes place in the Kingdom of Westhaven. City of Westhaven. I'm getting things mixed up. So the Kingdom of Therion, City of Westhaven. Okay, I got it. Now, our heroes have been summoned by the local lords because of, actually, you know what, I could just read it to you. Our heroes have been summoned by the lords because here, I'm not trying to show you the if-else statements. The if-else statements are for, well, as you can guess, when something happens, then you read to the players the results. Yeah. So the local lords have summoned our heroes to the city Westhaven, and because there have been a plague of undead lately, people have been getting sick. When they die, they come back, and undead have been pouring out from a hillside nearby, and so they believe that's where the suspected necromancer is, and want you to go kill him. So that's the current plot, or the current state of, that's the current state for Adventure 1. I'm not going to spoil it until I actually go through the adventure with you, but, well, I mean, I've already spoiled who the actual necromancer is. He's like, come at me, bro. But, so yeah. Necromancer, undead, plague, lots of death. And in this time period, we are in the 4th era, which is approximately 4,000 to 5,000 years after the gods created the world. And, humans and elves were at war. They kind of made an accord within the 1st era to fight the dragons. There was a big dragon war. I'm not going to go into the whole history for you. Let's try to save you time. But essentially, the short version is lots of wars. The gods are having fun. The mortals are not. And there was once a necromancer in the late first, almost end of First Era. So this is very troublesome to the people. That another necromancer has come. And because there was a lot of people who died, and it was a very terrible time for the world. Because in this world, there are 2 sources of magic. There's the Eldritch Arcana, which is a plane of magic and energy. This is where anybody who tried to practice the craft can draw their magic from, but it's dangerous and sometimes ages them or kills them outright if they don't do it properly. And then the other place is the Void. This is where necromancers grab their magic. The Void turns any living being who uses it pretty much into a gaunt, skeletal figure. 100% death guaranteed. Unless if they can find out a way to extend their lives, such as a lich. And, yeah. It usually doesn't turn out good for the necromancer. So this guy, our boss here, is one of the lucky ones, if you can tell him that. So all right, yeah, enough blabbering. My bad. Oh yeah, if you want to see the lich here, Akar the Necromancer. Default D&D description of a lich. Armor class is kind of special. He has like mage armor and dexterity bonuses. Hit points. I was lazy. I went with the Gravestorm scenario. He has 20 hit points if you have not destroyed his phylactery. 10 hit points if you did. And then there's a special... this is what I was talking about, the if-else statements. If you have the phylactery on you when you first encounter him, you refer to this event in the if-else statements. And it'll go through the description and what you should do. And then here's all his stuff. Yeah. Yeah, this is what I was talking about, the area of effect. All undead on the tile, including him, will regain 1 hit point. Innervation, I wanted to introduce this mechanic. Basically, if you have level 2 heroes at this stage, be careful. Because he's going to try to de-level you before pretty much anything else. Yeah. This is actually kind of spoiling it. like hiding it right now would be good, yeah. Yeah, so that's really all I can state for now. I mean, next video we'll set it up and get going. Here's all the monster cards. Oh yeah, I did make some mistakes. These, like I said, these are the card numbers. This is 67, not 68. And Sliding Walls is in the Ravenloft setting, not, what do I have here? Wrath of a Shardalon. So, yeah, I put that in the wrong section. And then here's the treasure deck. And lastly, the 5 family members. Also Wrath of a Shardalon, obviously. Alright, so that's going to be it. We will do the setup and first round for next video. Until then, see ya.